Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. We're here today with Junk Journal Round Robin, and it is day 22. So let's see what I've been sent today. This is from Mary Ellen. Just pull these open. All right. So we've got some really yummy painty paper on this amazingly yummy paper. I don't know, Mary Ellen is so good at like choosing paper. These feel like phone book pages. Okay. Beautiful. I love these. Okay, so let's set them to the side. They're also very much like an example to me of like how to use up all your paint and not put plastic down your drain ever. All right, let's see what the lovely envelope from Shell has here. Ooh, okay. Some really cute little cutouts of clothes. Okay, like paper doll clothes. Okay. So I think what I'll do is, do I have, no, I don't. Okay. Just gonna check a few things here. What do I have hanging around? I've got some stuff that I think will work well with this. And I think I'm going to let this dictate that I'm going to make 3 things. We also have 3 pieces of paper. So let's call it the rule of 3s. And I just need to get a few supplies to continue. Okay, so we have stuff. So what I grabbed was some of my paper dolls from various collections. I know this one was from one of my Journal Together kits. So I thought I would just grab those and we can cut them out and kind of use them as our focal points. So that we have something fun to collage with, and kind of, I thought that would be nice with the doll clothes and some bright colors and fun themes to go on those nice painty papers. Maybe I should just cut them out though, without making you listen to me ramble. Okay, I'm back, and I cut out the little bits that Shell sent me and the dolls, so we're good. So I think what I'll do is break this in half. Maybe I'll make 4 pieces too. So we've got 4 dolls. Let's just go wild. Okay. So I need a base for these, and I'm looking around trying to think. Other than like a folder, I could make a tag. I could make tags with these. I could also get like a big card or something that I have and do cards. I don't know. You know, I'm kind of feeling tags. I'm just a tag addict. I'm just addicted. I love tags. So let's not stress about what to do. Let's just create tags because it's fun. Okay. I think honestly tags are probably my favorite base, like for creating a piece of, you know, paper art. It's just a, I don't know, it's a nice like shape, good functionality. It's just, they're nice. Okay. Tear this off the top. Create these basic shapes. So tell me how you guys are doing. I have been, you know, really enjoying Junk Journal Round Robin. Have you had a favorite project? Have you enjoyed Junk Journal Robin so far? I think it's been such a good time for me because I've otherwise had just about the busiest work situation going on. I mean, I feel like that's an endless thing for me. I've just been in this chaos kind of work situation for a little while here. I feel like I'm progressing. There are things progressing, but I don't know. There's always new challenges in my world. But I'm doing okay. I need to, I think I'm going to swap glue sticks because I don't feel like fussing with that one right now. There we go. Yeah, that one's emptying out. We gotta do the glue scrape and use up the rest of the glue. I think Mary Ellen did the math on this, and you essentially get 1 free glue stick for every 10 if you use your extra kind of glue in a glue stick. So that's not too shabby. Okay. Trim all that up. These are nice scraps. They'll go in my bin. My completely out of control scrap bin right now that I've got going on. That's okay. We'll use it up eventually. As long as it's contained in the bin, I'm not so grumpy. I have this like rule where if it falls on the floor, it goes in the recycle bin. It's my way, my way of keeping everything under control. Because you don't want so many scraps that they become overwhelming. But I also don't know how I would do like work if I didn't have scraps. They're so good. Okay. 1 and 2. And this one. So last night, I think I mentioned what I did last night. I've had to cut this video in half because I filmed half of it in the morning and I'm filming half of it in the afternoon after work because I just have had like a day. I thought I could get to it at lunchtime, but I ended up just kind of being quick and not getting to it. So yeah, I went to see Emily Calandrelli. I think I told you that. She did some really fun science experiments and there were lots of cute kids there and it was so much fun. I would definitely love to see her again. She was so sweet and I loved hearing her tell her story about like, you know, getting her Netflix show, Emily's Wonder Lab, and then like essentially it got canceled and how she kind of dealt with that. And she's just a very cool, like down-to-earth person and funny to say that about an astronaut. But yeah, I love her whole message of progress over perfection. It was just such a healthy kind of message for kids, for adults. I sort of felt like when she was talking, I was almost able to just really like apply this kind message, you know, of like taking it easy on yourself, not just to kids, but to myself. I'm like, I need to do more of that myself, you know? Because things can get overwhelming. But hopefully you stop and you check in with yourself a bit. I did that yesterday. I got this, like, I had the weirdest situation happen. So I have a friend who I used to see her often. I don't see her so often now because we don't live near one another. But also, like, we used to do shows together, like yarn shows and stuff. So I have another friend that I have a similar relationship. We don't see each other often. We used to do shows, you know, we would go to the same shows in the yarn world together. So friend 1 reached out to me because she had heard a rumor about friend 2 and that friend 2 was extremely sick and possibly had even passed away. And I didn't even have like the ability to respond because the message put me in such a panic. And it was kind of like, you know, one of my clients told me this about, you know, our mutual friend, and have you talked to our mutual friend? And I stopped everything I was doing because I was like in such a panic about it. And I called, you know, friend 2, who thankfully was very much alive and well. You know, she's got some things going on, but she had been in the hospital for a couple of days with a, I'd say, medium to large, you know, serious issue. But it's now resolved and that's the good part. But, you know, it kind of gave me a shake, like just about staying in touch and how much like life can just really get away from you when you're a parent and when you're so busy. Like, at your job, and like just in general how things have changed for me since becoming a parent, since kind of deciding I didn't want to be doing yarn industry things anymore. I want to take a break from that. And also just like since the pandemic, I think so much has just changed, and like it was such a thing. But you know, I mean, I'm not upset with anyone. I mean, it was a legitimate question, and I'm really glad that I solved it. And now I'm going to make a plan to go and see my friend, because she lives about 3 hours away. But like, you know, she's a little older, and I do want to make sure that, you know, I see her, and not just like in the event of something, but just because like I care about her. And you know, I think it's hard when, you know, I said that to her yesterday. I said, like, I literally have been thinking about you. I even had a dream about her, like, a couple of weeks ago. And then that happened, and it kind of forced me to, like, you know, act. And I said, you know, I realized that this panic feeling that I have, you know, reminds me that I care about you. And I'm so sorry that I've, like, not been there, you know. And she was like, I mean, she's older than me considerably, and she's got a lot more life experience. And she said to me, Cindy, you're very busy. You have a very intense job, and you have 2 small kids. Please, you know, don't stress. And I was just like, oh, you know, thank you for that. But I mean, I think that the point is still there. I do care deeply about her family, and I love them, and I want to not be such a stranger. So yeah, I want a couple other collage-y kind of things. I'm going to go with this leaf. These labels are from the Junk Journal Studio. It's a collection called Mushrooms from Days Gone By. And these labels are like in the same tones as the mushrooms. So yeah, my friend had a right laugh about the whole concept of being, you know, no longer on this planet. And she's like, nope, still here. I'm okay. Kind of laughed at me. And I was just like, I got to have a really good catch up with her and talk about a bunch of our mutual friends, and just kind of that we're sort of experiencing a little bit of the same, like that disconnect, you know. And I don't know. It felt very good to talk to her, though. I feel like, I don't know, it took a load off my heart for sure. I felt like it was way too long. I'd be really interested in your perspective on this kind of thing. Like, have you fallen away from some people that maybe you used to socialize with more since, you know, the whole pandemic situation? Or have things been the same for you? Like, were you able to repair those kind of breaks in socializing? I've struggled. Like, I feel like I've tried. I mean, I haven't put as much effort in as I used to, but I have tried to kind of start like a weekly, you know, creative meetup again, because I used to host like Stitch and Bitch type nights and all sorts of things like that before the pandemic and before having babies. But like, I don't know, a lot of my friends moved away, so I have a much smaller group of like knitters and creative people that like were in my life close by. Like, they're all still my friends, but they don't live here anymore, so we can't meet up like we used to. And I mean, I don't know, it just generally also feels like people are so much busier now, and I think some of that comes from just this crazy survival mode that we're all in, trying to like deal with a capitalist society, I guess, you know. A lot of things are stressful and unattainable, and I am just gonna keep on trying to make a difference in having a social life as best I can. I've got to put some thought into, I do want to try to create like a little creative, maybe papery meetup. I've got a few ideas swimming in my head about things, and I don't know. But I also know that like all of this is, I would say, also quite normal, even for just having had children. I know a lot of my friends kind of became strangers after they had kids, and I've also heard feedback from someone who doesn't have kids that said that they don't normally like to hang around people who have kids, because I think her quote was that she gets treated like, you know, garbage or something, like not as important. And I sort of look at that and I think it lacks a little bit of like experience, just like none of us are experts on the things we don't live, right? I think it's very much the case that most parents, I think, would want to do more with their friends, but they just simply don't have the option because, you know, they've got children who depend on them, and you can't always go out, and you can't always even take your kids with you because maybe your kids are dealing with something. And I realize, like, as a parent, that people have, you know, very little understanding when they don't have kids about what having kids can change. I think I lost a friend or two because, not really lost them, but like I don't see them like I used to, simply because they're just not into kids, which I'll admit I have trouble understanding. I've always liked kids, but even before I had them, I've just always liked kids. I think kids are so cool. But not everyone feels like I do, and there's space for that, you know? But like, there can be things going on, like if you're in this situation, you feel like, oh, ever since she had kids, I never see her, she doesn't care. I'm sure it's not that. It's probably, or he for that matter, it's probably just that like they've got a lot on their plate and they're exhausted and they're not sleeping properly, or they've got a lot of extra things to pay for that they didn't have to pay for, or maybe their child has a health issue, or, you know, they're going through a phase or a leap, or, you know, something. There's just a lot more than I expected. Everyone warned me that my life would like change a lot, but I think for me this is even kind of like, okay, this is really a lot of change. Not so much anymore. I'm pretty adapted now, but yeah, I'm gonna see if I can't find some fun word snippets on this in this Bobbsey Twins book. So big moths on the screen door after the lights are turned on. That's fun. Whee. I think I might just take big moths on the screen door. It's kind of cool. I'm going to put it on this one. Maybe I'll find a moth. Yep, moth. No, you don't. Come back. Okay. Then, this one. Lots of butterfly stuff going on. This has started catching butterflies. Just say catching butterflies. And I'm going to put it on this one because I think that'll be cute. And then perhaps a butterfly to kind of go with it. This turns this whole thing into like a little Wind in the Willows feeling story. Okay, 2 more to go. Can I find... Just in case we have more butterflies. I do have more butterflies over there. I love this, like a great green butterfly. I'm just going to cut that out, but I'm not going to use it. I don't want to lose this little snippet. Now I want to find a great green butterfly. It's not a common color for a butterfly, green. Strange bird. Okay, that's all we got on that page. We need more birds. Or potentially one of them, I can, maybe both of them. We could actually just kind of do this or something. No, that doesn't look right. Maybe a butterfly. It doesn't feel as relevant without the words. Bunnies, bunnies, bring Easter eggs. Magician. It's kind of a fun word. Maybe for him. Maybe he's a magician. Field mice. Tiny mice. Go into the woods. That is some good advice. That's actually what I would love to do tonight. But I can't because I have to get things done in my house. Go into the woods. Magician. There we go. Then I might just grab a little label here. That could be cute. I'm just looking at what else I have hanging around. I think I'm going to go with that though. Glue these down. Okay, I'm going to go to the sewing machine. I'll be right back. So I have stitched around all of these, and I'm going to use a little bit of Wild Honey ink, I think, to just kind of tone down the white a little bit in the fussy cutting I did. And even on the old pieces, it's kind of nice. It just sort of brings the whole thing into like the same tone, you know? I don't know, I like how that looks. Okay, and this one. This kind of gives it a little age, you know, it's just cute. Okay, so that is that. Let's take a look at what we made today. These 4 tags. So I'm happy with these. I think they're a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed today's project. Don't forget to check out Mary Ellen and Shell, who I have linked down below in the description box. And that's it for me for today. I'll see you tomorrow with more Junk Journal Round Robin. Oh, also, I did put fabric up top in case you needed to know that little detail. Okay, bye guys. Bye for now.